I used to think discipline meant pushing myself to the breaking point, forcing my way through tasks until I burned out and had nothing left to give. I thought grit was about toughness, about grinding through as much pain as you could tolerate. And for a while, I convinced myself that was working. But then I discovered two approaches that shifted my entire perspective: the relentless mental toughness of Navy SEALs and the calm, grounded wisdom of Zen Buddhism. On the surface, these philosophies couldn't be more different. One is about thriving under chaos, the other about finding peace in stillness. But when I combined the two, I unlocked a style of discipline that was both strong and sustainable. Here's how it worked, and how you can apply it to your life. Let's start with the Navy SEALs. SEAL training is legendary. Endless push-ups, freezing swims, sleepless days and nights, designed not just to break you, but to teach you resilience under impossible pressure. A key part of their philosophy is something called stress inoculation. By exposing themselves to small doses of controlled stress, they teach their minds, "You can handle this. You're tougher than you think." I decided to test this concept for myself. I wanted to build a consistent morning workout habit, but instead of diving into a drastic 5 a.m. boot camp, I started much smaller. 10 push-ups. That was it. Once 10 felt easy, I added squats. Then a short jog. Each step felt manageable, and before I knew it, I was training 5 times a week without overwhelming myself. What really helped, though, was something SEALs call chunking. They break impossible tasks into smaller phases they can tackle one at a time. So when I faced an overwhelming work deadline, I stopped panicking and asked myself, what's the next step? Finish this one task, then the next. I stopped seeing the whole mountain and focused on a single climb. But here's the thing, pure grit can only push you so far. Zen teaches something radically different: discipline through stillness. For Zen monks, life is simplified to a series of present moments. When sweeping the floor, just sweep. When eating, just eat. Multitasking is traded for mindfulness. At first, this sounded impractical. But then I tried it. I set a timer for 25 minutes and focused on one task, writing a report, no phone, no notifications. My mind wandered, of course, but every time it did, I gently brought my attention back, often just by focusing on my breath. To my surprise, I finished the report faster and with fewer mistakes. And Zen's biggest gift? It taught me to pause. Once, after a heated argument, I felt the urge to fire off an angry text. But instead of reacting, I sat down, closed my eyes, and took 5 deep breaths. By the time I'd finished, the anger had settled. I avoided escalating a situation that didn't need escalating. And finally, the magic happened when I began to combine these approaches. Take something as simple as jogging. On days I felt unmotivated, I channeled the SEAL mindset. 1 more mile, you can do this. But I also brought in Zen mindfulness. I stopped obsessing over how much farther I had to go and just focused on the sound of my footsteps or the feel of the wind against my face. Running became less of a chore and more of a meditation. This blend of grit and calm transformed my outlook entirely. I stopped seeing discipline as pure force and started seeing it as a practice. Progress built one step at a time. Here's the takeaway. Discipline doesn't need to feel like self-punishment. The SEALs teach us to build resilience through controlled challenges, while Zen Buddhism reminds us to anchor ourselves in the present moment. Together, they create a method that is both powerful and balanced. So, start small. Pick one habit, a 2-minute meditation, a daily walk, or even setting your phone down while focusing on one task. Pair it with this mindset. This is my training. Over time, this mindset won't just reshape how you approach discipline. It will help you become someone who thrives under pressure, calm, focused, and unshakable.